This happened in late October a few months ago in rural Pennsylvania. I was heading home after visiting a friend in a small town outside Scranton. His name was Caleb, and he warned me before I left. He said, "Stick to the main road. GPS gets weird out here." I laughed it off. Big mistake. About 20 minutes into the drive, my signal dropped. The map froze, then rerouted me onto a narrow road I didn't recognize. No streetlights, just trees pressing in from both sides, their branches hanging low like they were watching. At first it felt peaceful, quiet, too quiet. Then I noticed something strange. Every few minutes, I passed the same broken wooden fence on the right side of the road. Same shape, same missing plank. I told myself it was just similar fences, but deep down I knew that wasn't true. That's when my headlights flickered. Just once. Then again. My car wasn't old. No reason for electrical issues. I tightened my grip on the wheel and kept going, trying to ignore the growing unease crawling on my spine. A few miles later, I saw someone standing on the side of the road. A woman. She was facing away from me, long dark hair, covering most of her back, wearing what looked like an old coat. No phone, no car nearby, just standing there. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but I slowed down anyway. As I got closer, she slowly turned her head, not her body, just her head, and looked straight at me. I couldn't see her eyes clearly, but something about the way she stared, it felt wrong. Like she wasn't surprised to see me, like she'd been waiting. I rolled down my window a little and asked if she needed help. She didn't answer right away, just stared. Then in a flat, almost emotionless voice, she said, "You're not supposed to be here." That hit harder than I expected. I asked what she meant, trying to sound calm, but my voice came out tight. She stepped closer to the car. "Too close. You passed the turn already," she said. "You keep passing it." That's when my chest tightened, because she was right. Before I could respond, she raised her hand and pointed down the road behind me. "Go back," she said, "before he notices." I didn't ask who he was. I didn't wait for anything else. I drove. Fast. I checked the rearview mirror once, and I wish I hadn't. She was still standing there. But now, she wasn't alone. There was something behind her. Tall. Too tall. Standing in the middle of the road where I had just been. I couldn't make out details, just a shape darker than the night itself. And it was moving. Not walking. Not running. Just shifting closer in a way that didn't make sense. My headlights flickered again, and for a split second, everything went completely dark. When they came back on the road, behind me was empty. But I didn't feel alone. I turned the car around at the next clearing and started heading back the way I came. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Then I saw it. The turn. A small dirt road I was sure hadn't been there before. And standing at the edge of it was the woman again. I slammed the brakes so hard the car skidded. She hadn't walked there. There was no way. She stood at the entrance of that dirt road in the exact same position as before, like nothing had changed. Like I had looped back into the same moment. This time I didn't roll the window down. I didn't speak. I just stared. She slowly raised her hand again, pointing down that dirt road. Her expression hadn't changed, but there was urgency now. "Go," she said. "Now." Behind me, something slammed against the back of my car. Hard. The entire vehicle jolted forward. I gasped and looked in the rearview mirror. Nothing. Then it hit again. Louder. Stronger. Like something was trying to get in. That was enough. I turned the wheel and drove down the dirt road. The moment I did, the pressure in the air changed. It's hard to explain, but it felt like stepping out of a room where someone had been watching you the entire time. The trees opened up slightly, and I could finally see the sky again. I didn't stop driving for at least 10 minutes. Eventually my signal came back. The GPS corrected itself and showed I was just a mile away from the main highway. 1 mile. I pulled over as soon as I hit pavement and just sat there breathing. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I tried calling Caleb, but it went straight to voicemail. So I checked the map history, and that's when things got worse. There was no record of the road I had just been on. No loop. No dirt road. Nothing. Just a straight route that I had somehow deviated from for nearly 40 minutes. 40 minutes that didn't exist. I got home around 2 a.m. exhausted and still shaken. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I called Caleb again. This time he answered. I told him everything. There was a long pause on the other end. Then he said, "You went down Old Mill Route, didn't you?" I said I didn't know the name. He sighed. "People avoid that road," he said. "There have been stories for years. Drivers getting lost, seeing things, sometimes not coming back." I asked him about the woman. Another pause. "Yeah," he said quietly. "Some people say she tries to help. Others say she's part of it." I didn't like either answer. Before hanging up, he said one more thing. "If you ever see her again, don't stop next time." I haven't been back to that area since. But here's the part one still can't explain. A few weeks later, I was cleaning out my car. That's when I noticed something on the back windshield. From the outside, handprints. Long, thin fingers stretched across the glass like something had tried to pull itself inside. They weren't mine, and they weren't human. Even now, sometimes when I'm driving at night, I catch myself checking the rear view mirror more than I should. Because a part of me knows, if I ever take the wrong road again, it might not let me leave. That night, anyone who lives around Pine Hollow knows better. But my phone had no signal. The main highway was shut down after some accident, and the GPS rerouted me onto a thin gray line I'd never noticed before. It was called Mercer Road. It started normal enough. Trees on both sides tall and packed so tight they swallowed most of the moonlight. My headlights barely cut through the darkness like the road didn't want to be seen. I remember checking the time. 11:47 p.m. I had been driving for maybe 10 minutes when I noticed the first thing that fell off. No sounds, not even insects. Where I'm from, even the quietest roads hum with crickets or wind. But Mercer Road felt sealed, like I'd rolled my car into a vacuum. I turned down my music to be sure. Nothing, just the low rumble of my engine. That's when I saw the sign. No outlet, 12 miles. I don't remember seeing it when I first turned in. I slowed down, considering turning around, but the road behind me was pitch black now. Something about reversing into that darkness felt worse than continuing forward. So I kept going. About a mile later, I passed a broken down truck on the side of the road. Old rusted driver's door hanging open. No plates, no lights, no person. I didn't stop. I told myself someone must have left it there days ago. Still, I locked my doors. Then about 5 minutes after that, I saw someone. A man, standing in the middle of the road. He wasn't waving for help. He wasn't moving at all. Just standing there facing slightly away from me. I slowed down, my headlights washing over him. He wore a dark jacket and jeans, but his posture, it wasn't natural. His head tilted too far to one side. I stopped about 20 feet away. "Hey," I called out through the window. "You okay?" No response, not even a twitch. I felt something cold settle on my chest. Every instinct told me not to step out of the car, so I didn't. Instead, I honked. The sound exploded into the silence, and for the first time the man moved. Slowly, he turned his head toward me, but his body didn't follow, just his head. And when my headlights hit his face, I swear to God it didn't look right. His eyes reflected too brightly, like an animal's. His mouth was slightly open, but it wasn't blinking. Not once. I slammed the car into reverse. The second I did, he stepped forward. Not walking, not running, just appearing closer, like the distance between us snapped. I hit the gas and reversed hard, heart pounding, so loud I couldn't think. I didn't even look back. I just needed to get away from him. Then my car jerked. Hard, like I'd hit something. I slammed the brakes and turned around. Nothing was there. No body, no obstacle. But when I looked forward again, he was gone, completely gone. The road ahead was empty. That's when I noticed something worse. The sign, the same one. No outlet, 12 miles. It was right in front of me again. Same dent, same faded paint. I hadn't turned around long enough to go back that far. That's when I realized I wasn't leaving Mercer Road. Panic doesn't hit all at once. It creeps in, quiet first, then it floods everything. I gripped the steering wheel and drove forward again, faster this time. My headlights shook with every bump in the road. I kept checking the rearview mirror, expecting to see that man standing behind me. Nothing, just darkness. After a few minutes, I started seeing shapes between the trees. At first, I thought it was just shadows, but then I realized they were too still, too deliberate. Figures, standing just beyond the reach of my headlights. Watching. I told myself it was my mind playing tricks, but then one of them moved. Not fully, just a slight shift. Enough to prove it wasn't a tree. I sped up. That's when my radio turned on by itself. Static filled the car. Loud, aggressive static that made me flinch. I reached to turn it off, but before I could, something cut through the noise. A voice, whispering, "Turn around." I froze. "You missed it." I slammed the radio off, my hand shaking now. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew one thing for sure: I wasn't stopping. The road suddenly narrowed. Trees leaned closer, branches scratching the sides of my car like fingers. I could barely keep the car centered. Then I saw headlights ahead. Relief hit me instantly. Another car. Finally. I slowed down, flashing my lights, hoping they'd stop. But as I got closer, I realized something was wrong. The car wasn't moving. It was parked in the middle of the road. Engine off. Lights on. Driver's door open. My stomach dropped. It was the same truck. The one I passed earlier. But that wasn't the worst part. There was someone sitting inside now. In the driver's seat. I hadn't seen anyone before. I slowed to a stop again, my heart hammering. The figure inside didn't move. Didn't react. Just sat there. Then slowly, it lifted its head. And I saw its face. It was the same man for before. But now he was smiling. Wide. Too wide. His mouth stretched farther than it should, showing teeth that looked too long, too sharp. And then, he was gone. Just gone. The driver's seat was empty again. My doors locked themselves. Click, 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 over and over. I didn't touch anything. I slammed the gas. I didn't care where the road led anymore. I just needed to get out. The trees started to thin after what felt like forever. The silence broke. I heard wind again. Crickets. Normal sounds. And then finally I saw it. A highway sign. Real. Familiar. I burst onto the main road, nearly swerving into another lane. I didn't stop driving until I reached the nearest gas station, lights blazing, people everywhere. I thought I was safe, until I checked my car. The back seat. There were muddy footprints, leading from one side to the other, like someone had been sitting there, watching me, the entire time. I never found Mercer Road again. I went back during the day with a friend, tried to retrace everything. There's no record of it. No maps. No signs. And Pine Hollow locals? They just say one thing. Some roads don't want to let you leave. I don't take back roads anymore. Not ever.